Today, we will be discussing the book called The Scars Beneath the Smile: My Life, My Story, My Healing by Demetrius Dykes. The Scars Beneath the Smile. Hello, Demetrius. How are you?
I'm okay. How you all doing today?
Good, good. Well, we're gonna call you Dee Dee on here because that's what we call you anyway. So I'm not gonna be calling you Demetrius throughout this conversation, okay?
Exactly.
I
No.
just can't do it. All right. So thank you for joining us today. We're glad to have you come on and of course tell us about your story. And I want you to just start off and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do. Just a little bit.
My name is Demetrius, Didi. Y'all call me Didi. Um, I've been a CNA for like 19 years. It's I enjoy taking care of people. So that's my profession. It's just like taking care of people and I don't know. And what led me to write the book, I'm gonna share a little about that. It was one day I was doing home care for my daddy. So, like when my thoughts get to flowing, so I was like, my thoughts was got to flowing about like different things that was happening in my past. So I just got like a pen and a notebook and I got to write. So as the days going on, I'm writing, and then some people was like saying, hey, wait a minute, why not just write a book? And man, it was just hit me. Never thought it was something that just hit me. I'm just going, oh no, one day I'm just writing down different things in my past. So I was writing. So, and I still write today. I still have all them pages that I wrote. I put them upstairs. They put up. I was writing. So it hit me. I didn't have I didn't have a title or anything, but I just know my past, what I was going through was wrote down. So I kept it and all that, transferred it over to a computer. It still didn't have a title when I was just like going through different things, trying to think of a title. And next thing I know, I reached out to someone and we came up with a title and I had a book.
All right. Well, I'm so glad that you wrote this book because I'm sure, like you stated in your book, the reason you was inspired is because you wanted to, you know, talk to other women about this because a lot of women are going through the same thing that you went through. We don't, people are quiet about this type of situations and events and don't want to, of course, tell their business, but it always
Yeah.
take a bold person, someone like you, to come to the
Mhm.
forefront and then everybody will be, oh yeah, that happened to me. Oh yeah, I went through the same thing. So it always take one person, you know, to start the conversation, basically. So I want to also express to everybody that September is Suicide Prevention Month, and which was last month, and October is Depression Awareness Month. So we will be discussing some things in regards to that type of matter, suicide, depression, um, abuse. We will be discussing these type of things. So I wanted to start off with the first question with women. In your book, you stated that women desperately, talking about women desperately needing attention and love from a man, right? So a lot of men, you stated they know, they pretty much have a radar when
Yes.
when they start seeking women that is of their caliber. They almost have I don't even know, they just have it's a magnet. It's almost a magnet. They can almost detect their prey. They have been dealing with this for a long time, and they are very clever when it comes to meeting women. That me personally, I can't really tell. But men that deals with a lot of women and dating over the time, it's like they gravitate to women that they know that they can, I guess, take advantage of in so many ways. But I wanted to start also talking about the question that you stated in your book: do women really know their worth? We all know the popular quote, know your worth as a woman, but the question is, do women really know their worth? And that is my question for you all. as a group? Do you think women know their worth?
I'll start. Quick answer, no. Especially when you're young, right? You're like, what is worth? Like you can't put a dollar amount on it. As human beings, as Americans, especially, our worth is tied to a dollar number, right? Or tied to some arbitrary number. And as a young woman, a young Black woman, what is that? Like, what does
Yeah.
that mean by worth? And I think we're just too, we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. And so I don't think that we really know our worth.
Um, I wanted to start off with also tell Dee Dee, you stated that your mom passed when you was 10 years old, right? So having your mother not in your life as a young age at a young age, do you think that that might have been a reason for you dealing with the things that you dealt with in your relationships, far as craving attention from a man, or do you think that that might have played a role?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
That ain't nobody but the devil. My phone messing up. Nobody but the devil. My phone messing up. Ladies, let me see how much I'm trying to give me 1 second.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to see should I transfer to my phone instead on here.
We can hear you now, so you can just go ahead and keep talking unless we have problems later on. Somebody just logged in. Excuse me. Can you mute your phone, please? Because I hear a lot of feedback. So whoever that was, I don't know if it's Diane or
I think
somebody, but
that
they just logged in.
I
Can you
think
please mute your
Dee
phone?
I
Yes,
think Dee Dee
ma'am.
logged, she called
Hold
in.
on.
Can you mute your computer, Dee Dee?
Give me 1 second. Okay, it's muted. Is that better?
Yeah, it seemed like you. Is that you on? You on here twice?
Yeah, because I think my computer is messing up.
Okay. Well, I don't know what you want to do. Maybe go from your phone. It doesn't matter, but we can't. The other thing
No.
that you're on is just the iPhone. It's not your actual face. So I need for you to
Hold on.
log out and come back. Log out and come back on your computer. Whatever you need to do. It doesn't matter, but yeah. So as Dee Dee is getting her her phone and computer together, we'll just wait patiently for her. Um, so yeah, ladies, you all have your questions and all that. Everybody got the question? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. So yeah, she's probably better to log in and log out. So you know how these iPads and phones and computers and laptops, baby. Woo! Don't get me started talking about it. Hey, Yolanda. Sorry for not calling you earlier. I forgot. Glad you
That's
came
okay,
anyway.
because I'm like, okay, let me hurry up, log in. I tried to
Yes,
log in.
girl. Yeah. Okay, here she is.
Okay. I'm back, ladies.
All right, I can't see your face though.
Okay. How can I put my face on? I don't know how to do that.
Um,
Just say
I don't
nobody but
know.
the
You got
devil.
to turn your camera on.
Nobody but the devil.
I can always.
Oh, let me see.
There you go. There you go. We on, baby. We on, honey.
Okay.
This is what we have to go through. I let people know I'm not cutting this out. I want y'all to see the real stuff that we have to go through. Now go ahead, Didi. Now you need me to re-ask your question again. Oh,
Yeah,
you know,
go ahead.
okay. My question was, you said in your book that your mother passed away when you was 10 years old. My
Mm-hmm.
question was, do you think that that might have been a reason or played a role in why you was craving so much attention from men?
Yes, and I can think back. There have been times when I could just be like at the bus stop and waiting for the bus to go to work, and I just be like, just get to talk to my mom. Be like, man, I wish you was here. Like I used to be like, I have so many questions that I need to ask you, but you're not here. And sometimes you be embarrassed because my thing is growing up. I didn't know the different things, about relationship, about men to do this, men is that way, man is this. Basically, I learned as I went along over the years. I learned different things, and as I'm picking back one, my sister, she told me, and it's still sticking in my head today. We control how a man treat us. You can't treat me no way if I don't allow you to treat me that way. But once again, when we as women, we get lonely, we long for that male attention. So it's like, hey, well, even though I know it's not right, but oh, he treat me this way, but still, he's showing me a little attention. So we allow it. I'm saying I allow it. We allow it. Yes.
Yeah, the reason I asked was because when you're young, right, the first person that we get attention from is our parents.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if they're lacking in that area, you're gonna look for it outside from
Yeah.
somebody or anybody. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know, like, did you kind of like think that maybe that was a connection there? You know,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people, a lot of women, they're not raised with their parents in the house,
Right.
whether they're passed on, whether they're incarcerated, whether they're just out on the streets living out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of different reasons. And I noticed that women, we don't talk about it a lot, but it is true.
And
you know
sometimes we may be embarrassed because people are so judgmental also. So as you may want to talk about it, but you don't know the responses you're going to get behind it. So therefore, you keep it all bottled into yourself.
Definitely, definitely. Anybody can go ahead if they have a question.
Um, so let me
My
just, can I just
question
start off
is,
with a comment first? Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead,
go
Yolanda. I
ahead,
had
Naveen.
already said something. I already said something. You go
Okay.
ahead.
So my question is it kind of picks back off of Tanisha's question, but it's like twofold. So I know you said your mother passed away when you were 10 years old, but my thing is, did your father show you any attention, and what type of relationship did your mother and father
Most
have?
definitely. My father raised 13 kids, had a wonderful father. Even when my mom passed, my dad was still there. And my dad was there. He never turned his back. I can go to my dad for things, but there's some things my dad cannot teach me woman thing because he sees the difference between a man and a woman. He can see could taught me things as far as a man aspect, but when it comes to things as far as a woman, there are things he couldn't teach me. My dad was always in our life till he passed. Yes.
So, and then the other part was, how did your dad treat your mother? Because I just wanted to know, like, how did you, I know you didn't want to share it or whatever, and I know sometimes people criticize you, but how did the relationship where, I know you learned things on your own, but my question is, I don't know if it's a question or a comment. How did you find it acceptable? Like, your body was telling you from the first start, your body was telling you to stay away from this guy. You didn't listen to how can I say, your instincts, because your body has instincts to say, stop, danger. And your body was alerting you that he was a danger, but you kind of ignored that signal that's saying he's okay because he's persistent.
And once again, that was because I didn't know my worth. My
Understood.
self-esteem then was low than what it
Oh,
is now. That I didn't know my worth. That I know my worth now, but then I didn't
okay.
know my worth.
Okay. All right.
Anybody else?
And I want to piggyback. She was like, asked the question about how did my dad treat my mom. I lived in a two-person household, and I was show nothing. Me and my siblings was never shown nothing but love from my mom and my dad. I saw nothing but love. I never saw if they had arguments or anything. I never saw the arguments. My mom and dad, we took the kids to on Sundays. We went to church together.
mom, dad, kids. That's what I saw as a going to as two-parent home. I was brought up well
Understood.
before mom and dad sick of passed. I was in a two-parent home. So I didn't, if there was arguments or anything of that nature, I didn't see it.
Understood.
And then I wasn't, it's once again, I was so young at the age, whereas if I was being shown how a man supposed to be a woman, I was young then. That was something I wasn't, that was the farthest thing from my mind and saying, hey, to pay attention to, hey, this is how a man treats a woman. I was young. So then I couldn't apply it then because I wasn't of that age to be thinking about a boyfriend. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So Dee Dee, thank you so much for sharing your story, especially in today's time, because like you said, well, like Tanisha said, a lot of people don't share what they go through, right? Especially today in the day of social media, where everything on
Yes.
social media is about what I got, blah, blah, blah. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just, they're posting. They're laughing about it, but they just want to put on this facade that, everything is great and their world is great. And I think that really affects a lot of our young women too, because they think that, oh
Yes.
man,
Yes.
this is what I need to be doing, which it's
Yeah.
not telling the truth. So thank you
Exactly.
for sharing your story. Do you share or pass on your knowledge of things that you went through to younger women, and how do they receive it?
Yes. When I first shared my book of how I try to take my life over a man and different things, I have got so many people, they would come in my inbox and I would share my story. And I still found myself right today of sharing my story with different ones. I say, well, I went through that. I went through like low self-esteem, trying to take my life, going through different things. When a man, I say, hey, I got a book. I'm gonna share my book. I'm gonna give you my book, and I want to read the book. That way, you can see different things. That may be something in my book that you're going through, and if you read it, be like, hey, she made it through, so I can do the same. So right now today, yes, I still people, young women come to me. I even have men have secretly have came to me about things in their relationship, and I have shared one thing about me. And then I always say, well, if you shouldn't like get advice from a single person because they'll tell you XYZ. Me, even people that have came to me, I never tell them to leave their significant other. I just tell them, you work on it. And then if you see that you putting in more effort than your significant other, then that's the time, just maybe you need to reevaluate the situation.
I like the question that you asked. You said you asked yourself in the book, why am I still single? And what am I doing wrong? Those two questions are like literally top rated. Like every single person, you know, when they get to an adult, they're asking themselves these questions, as years are going on and you're getting older and older, it's like, why am I single? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many men out here and you're dating people, you're with people, relationships don't work. Now, I don't know nobody that, very few probably have been in only one relationship and that's it, that's all. But we've all have dated numerous of people and you look up and you still back at square one. So of course you start to go within, right? Like, well,
Mm-hmm.
is it me? Am I doing anything wrong?
Yeah.
You start to question yourself, but my only answer for that is, you just wait until I feel like timing is everything.
Yes. Yes.
Timing is
Being patient.
everything.
Yes.
You know, we got a long life to live. And I've seen videos where people 80, 90, 100 years old talking about, honey, I'm still looking good because I'm trying to, in case I find me a boyfriend. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
And even when you, like, let's say for people that have divorced, they're still like, hey, I still look good. I want to be
Yeah.
with somebody. It may take a
Yeah.
while, but you want that companionship, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what it's all about, just finding that right person or somebody that's compatible with you to be with, but those questions are, like I said, at the top of the list for every single woman.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I want to go into, you talked about your baby daddy.
Mhm.
I'm sure you didn't put names in the book because you want to kind of keep things, secretive, and I think that's really good too. So I'm just
Mhm.
gonna say baby daddy. We're gonna stick with that.
Okay.
You stated that your baby daddy was mentally and physically abusive after the children were born.
Mhm.
Um, so you also said that he almost seemed like he changed overnight. And you stated that twice for the baby daddy and the mister. So do you think that when you get with these men that they're not really presenting their real selves to you in the beginning? Because it seems
Yeah.
like if you almost don't know, wake up to somebody you don't even know. So can you
Right.
explain that?
And I think a lot of men, which is normal like women, are fighting secret battles themselves. And like women, men, it's like instead of I'm gonna say men and women, we sit back and say, well, let me work on different things that I know is going wrong. That I know it's wrong, but I'm not in fact try to fix it. But you go to relationship after relationship after relationship, and you instead of you fixing what you know was wrong, or sometimes or you may not know, but you keep taking that baggage on to each relationship you in. You just keep dragging it on and on and on and on instead of sitting back and saying, let me sit back, let me reevaluate myself to see what's wrong. And a lot of times we don't do it. Either we're not aware of it or we don't care.
Yeah. And what age were you when you had your first child? Because that's always
Uh,
important, the
nine, nine,
mindset.
19. 19, yeah.
There you
Mm,
go.
yep.
And how old are you now?
Friday, I'll be 56. Yep.
So you see the age gap from 19, having a baby, got a baby daddy, you grown, but you still, what they say, ain't really grown. You know what I mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, we have to look back at what was going on at that time at 19 years old. And I
Yeah.
always can just go back to at 19, we don't know shit. Okay. We
Exactly.
don't know shit,
Still learning.
especially about no damn relationship and definitely about not no damn baby.
Exactly. Exactly.
you know so I mean, just imagine all the stuff you learned from when you was 19 to where you're at today. That's why I wanted to let people
Mm-hmm.
know the age difference, how long you've been dealing with this. You know what I mean? It's not
Mm-hmm.
like you've grown.
Yeah.
And I know you look back at this book like, man, I was really going through some shit, and you
And
basically
that's
said
how I
it too
was
in the
the other
book.
night I came in and I went through my son had asked me for Deshaun asked me to look for something if it and something his was here. And I got this little wallet I keep with everything in there. So I went. So my eyes stumbled upon the book. And I went and I picked it up. I got to read. I was like, and put this down, put it down. Went again, look for whatever, pick the book up again. And I said one day I'm gonna just go back and I'm gonna reread the book because I know from when I wrote that book back in 2018 to now, I know I have made a lot of changes. But I just want to go back and read and just see where my mindset was back then to where I'm at now. Yeah.
Anybody have anything to say? Anything to share? Anybody?
I have a question. Specifically, Dee, in the book, you mentioned that you had bought a car because you were working late and you want to come, back and forth. You didn't want to be on the bus back and forth. But then in the book, it was like you were taking a bus to different places. So I'm like, did you drive or did you?
I don't even know how to drive. That's what's eager. I don't even, and it's still today, don't know how to drive, but I bought it. This is my thing was, okay, if I get the car, because I stayed west, but I was working over east. If I get the car, I get dropped off at work. I can get picked up from work. So, and then my oldest son knew how to drive. But he was back and forth. He was away at college, so he was back and forth. My other two, they knew nothing about driving. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
once again,
Okay.
they asked, you put it in our hand, get this car. My thing is, I think I had one intention of getting that car, but he had his own agenda for wanting me to get that car. That's what that was.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I still want to kind of stay on the baby daddy for a while. So you talked about being mentally and physically abused and how you wasn't able to share that with anybody. And I think about other women who are going through the same situation and can't talk to anybody about that, you
Mhm.
know, because a lot of people, they don't share that.
Yeah.
People are getting, women are getting abused daily,
Yes.
um, and they just, they're closed mouth, and it's going on and on and on, and sometimes they don't know who to talk to. You like you
Yeah.
even you stated you got a big family. People that know you, they looking like you mean to tell me you couldn't talk to not one sister?
But at one point, I did have my brother intervene at the beginning. But when he saw our state was going back, he was like, well, I'm gonna leave it alone. I intervened at first, but what's the point of me going, knocking his head in for doing this to you, and then you go right back to him? So,
Because
yep,
that's exactly what they do.
right. I was a fool in love. A fool in love, I was. A fool in love. Even though I was getting knocked upside in my head, I still was a fool in love.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a sad situation, but a lot of people. That's why I'm glad you stated that, because that's why a lot of people do step out of situations and they
Mhm.
don't get into people's relationship
Yes.
problems,
Mm-hmm.
because it can bounce back on you and then you be the target. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
trying to help your friend. Let's say your best friend keep calling you, telling you this. You intervene. Next thing you know, he knocking her upside the head, and next thing she crying to you every other night,
Yes.
and then every time you go back to him.
Mm-hmm.
That at some
Mm-hmm.
point you just gotta say, you know what? I gotta walk away. I gotta let you do this. This
Yeah.
your battle, because it's not getting through,
Yeah. I didn't
you
walk away.
know.
What happened? I think is the last straw with me is I fought back that last time, and when I say blood was everywhere. And after that night, it never happened again.
And I'm just glad that you're on here. And I wanted to talk about suicide. I want to talk about depression. I want to talk about these topics. That you are a survivor. You are here to still tell your story and to help other women that's going through the same situation. Everybody is not, you know, blessed, to live through it. They're not.
Yes.
You have
So
went through a
true.
lot. You talked about how you live, how you survived death 5 times.
Matter of fact, when I say Tanisha, when I say God, I see in this times, but now when I wrote it and I went back, when I say God have been shielding me from death before I even had kids. One day I just sat back and I just was like, well, I thought about all the times. One time I was I stayed when I was little, and when me and one of the young ladies, they started shooting. We went to go jump the fence together. I mean the trains to go when we stayed in the projects. As we both go over this train to jump it, she wound up getting shot in the back. That's the first time. I'm tell you how many times God has shielded me. The second time I was going to Lucy Flowers, was Buff Wild. Get into a gang bang of sisters up there, and me and my sister Nadine. We running through Garfield Park and they shoot. God shielding us from bullets. Twice a month. I was in the first time I was staying in the projects in 140. First time, laying in the bed, sleep. Bullet came through the window. And because we had like the latches, when the bullet came in, it's some kind of way God, like if there's nobody but God, the latch stopped the bullet. If it didn't stop it, I would have been shot right here. The next time in that same apartment, my best friend got shot. So I'm in my front rooms, like I'm sitting like this, and I'm just sitting there and just crying. Some crying. Some say get up and go to the bathroom or something. God got my attention, and I got up. As I walk to the bathroom, still crying, I hear a loud noise shattering, and I go back. The very place I was sitting at, I was sitting in a chair like this. Had I hadn't got up, I would have been shot right here. When I say God had just been shielding me, it's so many times. And last time, it's like I'm walking. I had my 2 kids, me out in Dishima, and then high school. I had to go get them some bus cards. And man, I'm speaking about before that, I would be at work. I was working at African Trinity Hospital. They was used to seeing me laughing and joking and talking. I was just so spaced out by then. I would be at work. People wouldn't even know I'm at work. And they'll see me. And they'll be like, after 8 hours, they'll be, well, wait a minute. You was at work? Well, be there just zoned out. I don't even know to this point how I don't even know how that I was surviving through my shifts. And I remember one day my manager she called me in the office and she said, your work ethics is dropping dramatically. Man, because I enjoy what I'm doing. And I tell her, I say, well, I'm thinking about taking my life. Man, she jumped up. She said, Demetrius, no, she grabbed me. That insane. She called downstairs to the emergency room, crisis prevention. They tell them to they took me to the emergency room downstairs. I'm working in the hospital. Took all my clothes off and stuff. So by this time, the psych doctor come in, I ain't gonna tell him what I just told my manager, because if I told him that, I know I'm going to the 3rd floor to the psych ward. So we're in there talking and stuff. So by this time, I didn't tell him all that. So my 2 sisters, Nadine and Stephanie, rest her peace, Stephanie, she gone now. They came and got me. I was on medical leave and stuff, and I just was like, that was on a Friday, a Monday come. I'm walking, and when I tell you how I'm talking to you, the devil, and he's like, oh, and I'm walking, I got to go over the overpass, and it was the curtain change over there. I'm going to get my kids' bus passes. Still just messed up in the head, and the devil, go ahead, do it. It's gonna be quick. You right here. As I'm edging up to the overpass, I'm edging up to it. I'm there. So then God come, and the devil's in my left ear, and God come in my right ear. He say, now, if you do this, how you think your family gonna feel? Not even your family, how you think your kids gonna feel? By then, my kids weren't grown then. They was in high school and college, and they high school and college, one grown. So at that time, I bagged back, and I just get the crying, boo-hoo crying. Still, nobody knew that I was doing that until they read the book. I kept it in all that time, and I'm gonna pick it back. My first time, I'm out of place. I'm sorry. My first time when I was trying to take my life, I was upstairs in my house. I was gonna take some pills. Call my sister Nadine. I say, one of your sisters gonna take their life. She say, huh? I said it again. One of your sisters gonna take their life. Man, at this time, I didn't know that all the sisters was in the car together. I was the only one that wasn't. She saying, you stay there and you don't move. And she came, then I was crying out. But they go into all the details of XYZ. That's when it first started. When I say, I just like, thank God, when I say God has been shielding me ever since my kids for bullets alone. And now one day I sat back, and that's why now I just be praising and thanking God. When I say God had been keeping me even when I didn't want to be kept, God kept me. And now I was like, then this is like last year or so. And I was kept saying to myself, why did God shield me all them times? I could have been shot so many times. I was gonna jump over the overpass, but God just been keeping me. And then I said, God got me here for a reason. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, girl. Whew. That is a
It's
lot.
hard.
That's
It's
a
like,
lot.
and just like I think more so keeping it in, not telling nobody is what really messed me up, because Then I had a nervous breakdown. I kept it in, and that's why I tell people just talk to somebody. Even when I hear different ones saying different things they're going to, even if you can't talk to somebody, because keeping this stuff in, it will consume you to the point. And that's why I tell people, be mindful. Not even have to practice it myself. Be mindful what you say to people. You don't know people mindset, and any little thing you say can trigger them to take them over, to make them do what they thinking about doing. Mental illness is so serious, and I'm constantly seeing on Facebook more and more and more. And every time I read somebody's status, and I just get to print, and I just keep be thanking God, like, because that was me at one point, and God delivered me from it.
My heart goes out to the people that actually go through with it. That's
Yes,
that's what's like, oh my God, and they have people, they just don't go talk to them, or like you said, they don't want to tell them, or they just keep it in.
as
It's a
people's
it's it's a
judging.
it's a right, it's a battle that they're dealing with. It's a
Yes.
personal battle that they're dealing with, and they've been
Yeah.
dealing with it for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can go to therapy. That's what people want you to do. That's the protocol. Go to therapy, have someone talk to you. But what if you go to, what if you've been to therapy? What if you go to a lot of therapies and it just don't work? Then what you
Yeah.
do?
Mm.
Everybody don't know God.
Yes. So true.
So be glad that you know God, because everybody don't. They don't have a relationship with
Yes.
God like you do, and like most people
Yes.
do. You were born in church, raised in church, and look what you're going through. You still
Hmm.
going through it. You know what I
And
mean?
even with that time, Nisha, I was in church, was going through in church, was there. And I couldn't even tell you like the songs that was sung, what was preached. I was just there. Just zoned out. And nobody never knew. Because guess what? I kept that a smile on my face, well, as much as I could. And nobody knew nothing I was going through.
Um, so you say that your baby daddy, he started stealing from you and being a drug user. I want to know, how did that affect you and your kids?
With me, it's like when he gave me money, he always kept a job. But if he gave me something, gave me money for the kids in the house, I had to spend it right away, because if I didn't, he would come back and he would take it. But there's one thing that I always praised him for, even though he's in addiction, no matter what, he never, my kids can have clothes hanging in the closet with the tag still on them. He never touched none like the my stuff. Yeah, he took for me, but when it came to his 3 kids, he never touched nothing to them. And not right now, today, now. And one thing I had to learn to forgive him. That was a part of my healing. I had to learn to forgive him because I was so mad at him. I'm like, you was on drugs. You broke up our happy home. You abused me for years. And now I blamed him for the way I was, the way I was thinking of different things, how I was thinking, how I was acting. And then I said, one day I said, I want to heal. And I say a part of my healing is forgiving him, that he, for everything that he took me through. And now, right now, today, he come around, we laugh, we joke, we talk on the phone and everything. We have that relationship now, and I'm glad we do, for the sake of our kids, even though they're grown, and our grandkids. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, Didi, you
Yeah.
mentioned on your kid's father. You have 3 of them, and you were with him for years, and you said he was on drugs. Do you think your kids knew anything like that was going on? And you have a
Yeah.
daughter. You have a daughter.
Yeah.
How do you think that affected
I
your
don't
daughter as a young
know.
woman?
I can't say my daughter, because she really don't talk about it. Nor my oldest son, Deshaun, don't talk about it. Um, but one day, and my second son, Deshaun, he put a status on Facebook, and he said he started reading. No, yeah, he said he started reading the book. He said he had to put it down. He was like, because I thought what I thought that I was shielding them for, they knew about it. All these years, I never thought, I thought that I was chilling on loud. They didn't know they was asleep. They little, they didn't, it's never all along. They did know what was going on. And that's the same way with my daughter. She said the same thing when she said she was in there just like snooping in my stuff, being nosy. And she said she started reading. I think when she wrote it, I had it, it was on the computer. And she said that's how she started reading. And she's like that she just got the crown and she had to put it down. So, and that's my thing is today I was like, my prayer is that the things that she saw me going through, as far as a man, she would take that and think back, no, my mama went through this and my mama went through that. So I'm not gonna allow a man to do me that way because how it affected my mom.
Um, after you left your baby daddy, you said you didn't give your heart time to heal. Do you think that was important, that it's important to wait a while before jumping into another relationship?
Yes. Because my thing is, we're jumping right in. I was with him. Still was longing for that love, that male attention. And that's what, and it wasn't even like I jumped to different, I wouldn't even say well, their relationship just was out there having fun. I'm gonna say that because they weren't no relationships. I'm just gonna keep it real. Was out there because like, oh, and a lot of times I did it well because I want to get over him. I want to stop thinking about him. So let me come over here and start messing with somebody else. So that way I won't think about him. I don't want to be with him. Which was now that I think back, was like I shouldn't have just like let my mom, because I had went through so much with him. I should have let my heart heal, my mind heal before I jumped into something else. Which was didn't do nothing but put more damage on me than what I already had. It just added on to the damage that I was already going through.
Oh, did you ever figure out how you got that money out that pillow?
Still trying to figure it out because I was laying on that pillow. Still to this day, I want to know how he got them. There was some food stamps. I put them food stamps in there
Put
like I
them
had to go
spin
grocery
too.
shopping. And I was like, huh? And I still know today, don't know how, because I know I want sleeping that hard that I didn't feel him go in that pillow and get them stamps out of that pillow. I'm gonna call him and ask him too, how did he do it? Because I'm curious how he got them stamps. I'm gonna call him
That
and ask
really
him how he
tickled me.
did.
I know the book was serious, but that part really tickled me. I just
Yeah.
want you to know that. I'm like, how did he do it?
I'm gonna call and ask him how did he do it. He probably don't even remember, but I'm gonna call him and ask him.
I wanted to know, why was it so hard at that time for you to walk away with the different relationships? You know, you seem to never walk away. Did you feel like you were going to abandon the people you didn't want to abandon them? Like, what was it that made you not want to leave?
Just felt that I needed a man in my life.
Yeah,
Just felt that.
that's
Years
it.
later, and I
That's it.
say,
That's all.
and that's what I say now. When I say I can feel my growth now, I'm yes. Now I'm just like, come on now. And then how they say you get set in your ways. I'm starting getting set in my ways, and that's all right with me.
Yeah, a lot of women they just stick by through thick and thin, no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And they don't realize that the damage that they're doing to themselves,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, because he
Mm-hmm.
gonna be all right.
Yeah, most
He good.
definitely.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
ain't gonna do nothing but take that toxic drama on to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
So it said I about the forgiving. I want to talk about that. It's okay. I feel like it's okay to forgive, but only when you continue to forgive, it seems as though you're the person is taking advantage of you. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how many times I'm supposed to keep forgiving you? You know, you're not
Exactly.
changing. You know, they say you're supposed to stick by your man, stick by whatever. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
When is the time to walk away? You know what I mean?
When you're tired of
When
being
they
a
bust you
fool,
upside the head, is that when you leave?
You're
when you're
supposed to
tired of being
always
a
forgive,
fool,
Tanisha.
Huh?
I said you're always supposed to forgive. It's like don't
Yeah.
forget, because then most people
forgive but don't
say for
forget.
those who Yeah, and those who believe in God, like how many times has He forgiven you for the things that you've done? No matter how, whatever, you have to think of like that. But I do have a question. I don't know which boyfriend it was because I don't know, but I know it's the one you were with for a while, and his sister was trying to tell you about all the things that, and she was the one who finally told you to leave him. So my thing is, why didn't you really listen to the sister? Because it was like, to me, she was trying to give you signals of saying he's no good, but you still stood around. I don't know if you wanted to listen to her, you didn't believe her, or something just made you stay.
I believe her, but I just was like, once again, probably was in denial because when he came in and what like made me like draw him to me when we went out, it was about me and my 3 kids. It's like our first date. We went out and we took the kids. So I'm like, oh, this my thing is he doing this for me. Because when I first got with him, he did anything I asked him for. Oh, can I get this? Can I do that? If I buy this, you will give me my money. That's how he was at first. Down and now he's starting to be you know. But I was like, I know what she was saying, but once again, it was at that point that my man was already all over everywhere. So it's like I'm hearing what she's saying, but it's still that's my man. I want my man back. I don't want another woman to reap the benefits of what my man gave me. Even though he was taking me through pure holy hell, I didn't want no another woman to have him. Instead of saying, let her have him, let him take her through all that. A fool was I.
I got another question on that too. So I know how you was like, you didn't want to know. I don't know if this is the same guy, but in part of the book, you said you were working and the girl was looking at you in envy. And I'm not sure if that's the same guy or not. But sometimes people see things from the outside. It looks good to them. You know what I'm saying? It looks really good. They don't know what's going on. It still looks good to you. So at the bottom line is, what she probably saw was, here he is, he coming home to you. You was the main one. So that looks good to some people, even if they don't have anything, even though you was like, I'm going through it, and he's doing whatever. That looks good to some people who don't have that. You know, I don't know why, but I don't know if there's more of they need that connection or they just want to compete. And sometimes people will compete just because they see you and you appeared to be strong. Like how you said, I was smiling. People knew me at work and I did my job. It's like, I want that. And sometimes they might have believed that he was the reason that you was doing all that, even though he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They might have just wanted how she just stared at you or whatever. I'm not sure if it's the same guy now. But
not my ex. It was that's the same guy. Not my ex, the guy that I know what I said. Yeah, that's him.
Okay, so how the girl was just staring at you, it was like she probably wanted to be in your place and didn't know how to be in your place, even if she got whatever it was out of the deal. It seemed like you had the better, how can I say, you had the best deck of cards. That's what it appeared to her. And sometimes people get jealous, even though you'd be like, I don't know what you're staring at me or being jealous about. I don't have anything. But to her, that person, it may appear that you had everything that she didn't have.
Yeah.
Just my oversight of it. Because you was like, I didn't know why she kept staring, because it was like, she really wanted what you had. And you might have felt like, he ain't nothing I don't want, he ain't whatever. Even though I ain't giving him to you, he ain't nothing. She still wanted that. And it sometimes jealousy will take over people, you know, no matter how little it is. And I want what you have. And even if you be like, you can have it, I don't want it, but they still want it because it seems like because it belongs to you and they feel like they should be in your position versus them in the position that they're playing.
Yep. I think, can I just piggyback off of that? I think the society plays a big part in that too. For women, society make us feel like we need a man. Right? Like, if you ain't got no man, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Right? You ain't got no man. What's wrong with you? But if a guy talking, I'm woman, oh, he a player. He a player. That's cool. He a player. Like that, you know, he just doing him. Going on in almost 50, and it's like, oh, you ain't never been married. You ain't got no kids. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with me.
And guess what? It ain't nothing wrong with being single, because let me tell you something. A lot of people that's in relationships, they're miserable. They got to play the facade. We together, but I'm miserable. I got a man, but I'm miserable. Come on now.
Yep. And society will just be like, for us, something wrong with us if we ain't got no man. And so these women are in these relationships because, hey, at least I got a man. No, thank you.
He may be just a piece of a man, but I got one. Like my grandmother say, my grandmother, you say a pair of pants, and that's what a lot of them is just a pair of pants.
I think being in a relationship is such a big hype. You got so many people wanting what they can't have. You got
Mm-hmm.
single people wanting to be in a relationship. People that's in a relationship want to be single.
Yes,
You got
yes.
people that's married want
And
to
to
be
be lying
single.
and saying
It's
they
just,
single and knowing they not.
yeah. I mean, it's just like what is going on. You got people that's in a relationship that feel like they still single.
Yeah.
It's all it takes is for your mate to cut you off, giving you attention. And what do you
Mm-hmm.
have? You're gonna be back
Mm-hmm.
in the same position, craving for attention from anybody or any
Yeah.
other man.
And see, that was me. Some
Because if
attention is
you
better than it's no attention at all. No, even though I know you
exactly,
know it ain't right, but as long as I'm getting that attention, so that's all right.
exactly, exactly. Because some people are in relationships and they're not getting any attention from their mate,
Yeah, so true. So true.
but they're in a relationship though. You gotta not talking to each other, don't sleep in the same bed, barely
Mm-hmm.
coming home. I mean, whatever. Maybe one word, two word, not really nothing. No, there's no intimacy. You know what I mean? Like nothing. And it's like, but you in a relationship though, you know? So it's like we want what the single people want the relationship, what the people that's in a relationship have. And relationship people, they want to go back single, but they don't want to really be single. It's like
Yeah,
it's
so
really
true.
weird. It's really
Yeah.
weird. That's why you got a lot of men out here talking to women that are married. You don't find out till you already done fell in love with the damn man.
Yeah,
Now
yep,
you want to
yep,
tell them, like, oh, I'm married. Nigga, actually,
yep.
that's the first thing you should have said
Exactly.
when you said
Some
hello.
women are guilty of that too. I'm not gonna just say it's all men, but majority of it is men. But you do have women that do the same thing. They'll go out, they got a husband at home, they going out doing whatever, the husband doing all this stuff and they doing crazy stuff. So even where I work at, they come to work, their husband
Mm-hmm.
at home doing whatever. They don't suspect what's going on. They got a whole work spouse at work. I'm like, what the heck is going
Yep,
on? But
yep.
going home to their husband or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother thing.
But that's the
Back
new
to
thing
that.
now, having a work husband.
That's crazy. So they have work husbands, work wives. That's why I call them work spouses. But it goes both ways. It's like, what the heck is going on when you go home to a whole nother family? Then you have a family at work, which is crazy to me.
Yes.
But I have another question. Because speaking of that, when you start working at the job, did you not know, or he knew that you was applying for that job and the girl worked there or not? He didn't tell you that, or
He knew I was back then I knew about the girl. When he knew I told him I got hired there. And I can't remember it been so long. But he was saying he said that she worked at a hospital that was affiliated with the hospital I was working at. So he never disclosed that she was working there.
And I think you
but
said
another thing,
y'all
I
was working
also
different
want to comment.
shifts.
You have great detective ship, because some of the things I would have been like, I would have never did that. Like the numbers in the shoe, I just would have never. That's all I wanted to say. You was a great inspector.
Yeah. Anybody else have a question? Anybody else? I wanted to talk about your depression moments. Different symptoms that you said you were dealing with. You were not being able to get out of bed, not remembering if your children ate or not, missing giving your teenage daughter attention at the time, or your younger daughter at the time, walking like a zombie, you know, being absent emotionally from your daughter, these are definitely what people go through. These are symptoms. These are things. This is actual
Yes.
events and ways of how people are dealing with depression now. And like I say, during COVID, it was really bad because people were really dealing with depression.
Yeah.
Not being able to go outside, having nervous breakdowns, you stated. So yeah, I want to talk about that because depression is really prevalent in United States. The statistic shows that over the overall 18.3% adults, approximately 48 million people deal with depression.
Mhm.
You know, and yeah, that's and some people are on medication and some people are not. Some people getting treated, some people are not getting treated.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, this is almost like a silent killer. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
almost like a silent killer
Mhm.
because you
Mhm.
don't really know if people are depressed. You think they okay. You know, people walking around happy and you don't know what they doing when they go home by
Mhm.
themselves. You
Mhm.
know, um, case in point, these people that just lost their jobs.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, lost
Mhm.
their jobs, going to work every day and not getting a paycheck. Don't know where their next meal coming from.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so it's so effective now. Like everybody is dealing with something.
Yes. So
Everybody is
true.
dealing with something, you know. And that's why I talk about situations and events like this because people are walking around every day as if they got their shit together. Ain't nothing wrong with them. You know, the
Mhm.
next person trying to
Yep.
outdo the next person. Everybody
Mhm.
trying to be on top. Everybody trying to be a baller, shot caller.
Mhm.
Everybody want to be a baddie. Okay. So
Mhm.
but I'm just saying, but we all are dealing with things, you know,
Yes.
and
So
we need
true.
to talk about these situations so that other people can get better, you know, or find some type of relief. Or even like when you said you were dealing with stuff and then have nobody to go to, have a support group,
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
know? And I was like, you know, sometimes if you ain't got nobody, just talk to a stranger. Hell, it don't even matter. Get your stuff out. Have had so many people walk to me and come up to me, and I don't even know their name, and they tell me so much about them.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
know, they just want to get it out, talk to somebody,
Yeah.
share with somebody. You know what I mean? You talked about being lonely. You know, just feeling lonely as a single woman. You know, that's important too. You know, having lack of social connections with people. You
Mhm.
know, and when we young, we have all these friends. Y'all know that.
Yeah.
It's all about our friends when we young. But when we get older, where them damn friends at? I mean,
Mhm.
you know, everybody got their own life now, and you look up and it's like, oh my God, you only maybe keeping in
Mhm.
touch with one or two people or a couple people. You know, it's so important to have a social life, have friends, you know, people that you go out with, social groups. That's, I think, to me, that's what's more important than anything when you get older, especially when you're single. Now, if you married, maybe y'all can go out with other married couples. I don't know what y'all do. I don't know. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That's a whole other secret, you know, another life that they do, you know. Single people don't want to hang over. I don't know. But my point is, when you're single, and as you get older, you need to have some kind of outlet,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know. So I think that's very important that you even talked about that, you know, having low self-esteem and all those different things that you brought down and you know you talked about in the book. I think that's so important, you know. My next question, I wanted to know, um are you still single?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes.
since writing the book years ago, how do you feel about being single now?
I'm fine with it because I'm at an age in my life. It's like you look at it's like, and I see and hear different things, and I'm just like, I've been through that. And my thing is, I pray to God. And they say when you ask when you want something from God, you got to be specific. And I pray and I ask, I be specific, God, and I say to myself, if God don't see me nobody right now, He may be saying you still not ready. You still got some things that you need to work on, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. If I me praying to God for a man and God don't send it, I'm fine with that because maybe there is some things and I know within myself, there's some things that I'm still having to work on, but I will say that I'm much better than I was when I first wrote the book. I can say that about myself.
You definitely improved. That's good. Because you don't want to stay in the same situation. You don't want to stay, you
Exactly.
know, you want to get
Exactly.
better. You want to learn, do better. Like I
Mm-hmm.
say, you would say you learn, you know better, you do better.
Do better. Yes, ma'am. And
Yeah. So that's
sometimes I look at Tanisha, and I'm just gonna keep it real. When I look at it, how these men out here, every time I want to open up, about dating relationship. And I'm stating saying how these men say taking these ladies' lives, that make me fall back again, like, whoa, maybe not. Maybe I'm back and forth with it. But I'm seeing that more and more and more. And that's like kind of like turning me off. It's like maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I
like you
feel
Once again,
said,
with mental illness, once again, people are not getting help with their mental illness. I'm sorry, Dan, what you about to say?
no, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say you had mentioned it. It's just like we're talking about women and what we go through and the help we need, but these men, and
Yes.
they have a bigger stigma. Just like I'm a man, I don't, I'm you crazy if you talk to a psychiatrist. You crazy if you talk
Mm-hmm.
to other people. And I think you had mentioned this in your book about how your boyfriend called you crazy because he knew that's like your trigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Calling you crazy, and it's just like was a trigger to you. But it's like look at everything that you're doing to me.
Right.
This is
And
why I'm acting like
yes.
this.
And I had this conversation with a couple of guys I know we were sitting as in the summer we were sitting out. And I said, I'm like, why do y'all be so quick to call a woman crazy when the things y'all do to them, they're not crazy. They're acting out like that because the things that y'all do to them and say to them. And I couldn't even get that question answered. And this was from a group of men that I was talking to. It's
yeah.
not crazy. It's just like acting it's like a kid acting out. You taking me through all this. You cheating on me. You putting your hands on me. You playing games with me. You playing games with my man, basically. But then you gonna say I'm crazy. But you playing games with my man.
And when the tables
Mm.
are turned on them, it's
Ooh, they
not
can't
as
take it. They cannot
can
take it.
take it. And then
Can't
this is
take it at
why
all.
I think some of these men are taking these women lives because it's like instead
Yes.
of just cheating on them ain't enough. It's just like they going too
Mm-hmm.
far.
Yeah.
I had a question. Do you think, Dee Dee, it's possible for men to be truly faithful to one woman while being in a relationship or in a marriage?
For myself, I think it's possible. But once again, I had this conversation with a male. And he told me that no man can be with just one woman. I beg to differ. I don't believe
Yes.
that.
You're
I beg to
bullshitting.
differ. That's something he said. I feel that a man can be faithful to his woman and be with one woman. I really believe that. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
But did you ask him, sorry, Tony, should jump in. Did you ask him, does he think that if men cannot just have one woman, is it okay for women to have just one man? Because
And
when you ask them that, they be like, oh no, they're
mm-hmm.
not doing that.
And it's crazy because I'm piggyback. And I asked somebody else, it's a couple men. I was like, hold on. Well, let me get this. I like nah. Three men told me that same thing. I'm like, and I told them like that's sad. That's really sad that y'all think like that. That one woman is not enough. That's sad. And what about the soul ties? You ain't thinking about that. What about the soul ties? Mm-mm. I'm good. Stuff like that. When you think about different things like that, it make you want to stay single.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, Hi ladies, I just had to chime in. I've been
Hello.
listening the whole time. I have a lot of things going on here, but I wanted to chime in. Number one, as a married woman, I've been married for 13 years and I've been with
It's a
my husband for
blessing.
20 years. So,
Blessing.
and I mean, and a lot of people here, you guys don't know me personally, Tanisha does, and knows that in general, I don't have a lot of relationship problems with them. I just don't. Like, we're best friends, and I'm not sounding like a delusional woman. I just, I try to. I mean, my mom and dad had been together until she passed. God rest her soul. So I had a great example, and I know that's not
Mm-hmm.
always the reason because I know Dee Dee, I know you had one as well. So I'm not saying that
Mm-hmm.
that's like an outlier. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think it's more than possible for a man to be faithful. And I've heard men say that. I think that's just an excuse because a lot of men, they don't want to be held accountable. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, let men be
Mm-hmm.
boys, will be boys. We can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. You know what I mean? It's like, so I feel like that's just a scapegoat for them to, so when they do run off, it's like, well, it's not possible. It's very much possible. They just have to have self-control, but they choose not
Mm-hmm.
to, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
want a woman to hold them accountable. That's one thing I wanted to say. Another thing was, you guys talking about husband murdering wives. Recently, the woman that was in the news, her name was Narissa Evers. Tanisha, you remember my best friend Anika from high school? That was her best friend, and her husband
Oh
murdered her in front of the school.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember
yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
know.
my God.
And it's like Dee Dee said, it's been happening so much.
Ooh,
I can't
yes. Oh
explain why. It's like,
Jesus.
I don't know why they just won't leave. I really don't. But honestly, like I said, although I'm in a happy marriage, I tell women all the time, being single is great too. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be like with any man is better than no man. Not at all. Being single is a very viable option. And I tell
Yeah.
young people all the time, even as a happily married woman, I let them know being single is a viable and a perfectly good option. You know what I'm saying? It's like any bag of bones is not better than nobody. You know what I mean? It's like you could just be by yourself. And I
Mm-hmm.
do
Mm-hmm.
advocate for that. You know what I mean? So because like I said, men out here, instead of like leaving, I don't know why he did that. Who knows? A lot of times, unfortunately, I go for that they had a secret they didn't want to come out. My mind go there. You know what I mean? Like he had something he want to come out, about other men, maybe some D-Lo stuff, or just, didn't want a divorce. I have no idea, but I do know that her and her husband, Narissa, at the time, her mother, because he killed her and her mother. I don't know if you guys know
Yeah.
the story. This happened about a
Mm-hmm.
month
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
He killed
Mm-hmm.
her and her husband. I mean, her and her mother, because her
Mother
mother
in the
came to
car.
pick her
Yeah.
up from school
Yeah.
because she started to be scared of him. And it was
Lord
in front of her
Jesus.
school. They had to shut down the school in Berwyn. She was the assistant principal there. And she had started to be scared of him. So warning
Jesus.
signs were coming, and she was in the middle of divorce. And so he came and killed the mother, the sister, and then himself. You know. So yeah, like I said, a lot of times, yeah, man, and it's like, again, being single is better than being with some of them. I do think it's good ones out there, just like I think it's good women, but you have to be choosy and very
Yeah.
protective of your time and of your
Mm-hmm.
space. You have to. Like Dee Dee said, she has become, settled. It's like, if that's the peace is a beautiful thing. And if
Yes.
somebody
Yeah.
threatens it, send them on their way. You know what I mean? If they not
Mm-hmm.
adding value, send them on their way. Because like I
Yes.
said, we see what's happening to women that just get involved with men that don't mean them any good.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. That's all I wanted to add. I've been here listening, but like I said, I just couldn't have my camera on.
Um, my next question was, I wanted to say, Dee Dee, when you said you was messing around with another woman's man, my question was, why do women have that same type of attitude? It was done to me, so I don't care. I'm doing it to somebody else, because that is how they
Mm-hmm.
feel. That's why
Yeah.
they do a lot of things. Now it's like, oh, well, shit, my man cheating on me, so I'm gonna go fuck me
Mm-hmm.
up with this man over here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't doing over there. I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna do it back. I don't care nothing
Mm.
about hurting her. Shit, I was hurt. He been hurt. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a tick for tack type of thing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, why do women have that same type of attitude, like you stated that you had? He did it to me, I'm gonna do it to them.
Once again, some be hurt, some it's like, well, no, well, I know he in a relationship, but he paying me some attention. I need some attention, so that's why I'm gonna mess with him. For it is not right. Different reasons. And with me, when I would do it, I would after I would be with him, this man, I would ask God for forgiveness, but then I would go back and do it again. And that comes to me. It just sometimes with growth. And my thing is, I look at it's like I don't want to do things that's out of the will of God and block whatever blessings He has for me by doing things that I know it's not right, but I continue to do it only just to I don't know, for loneliness, and like they say, you know better, you do better. And once again, I don't know what's going on. This
Yeah. I don't know why you frozen. But
is it
yeah,
still frozen?
it is.
Oh, the devil is a lie. Lord have mercy.
That's okay. You can try logging out and coming back in. Sometimes that help. That's the only solution I got for anything, girl. Log out and come back in.
Okay, give me a second. Give me
Yeah,
one
go
second.
ahead. Yeah. Um,
Tanisha, while we're waiting on you to come back, just let me say, women in the 50s, 60s, 70s that like were with men and they actually they had to stay with the man because they didn't have any other option, right? Like the man took care of them and it's just like, and it's like whatever he gave you, you had to deal with because that man ran a household. He's a leader. What he was leading, don't know, but you know, a lot of women in that time had to stay with men who they knew were not good for them, but they have no other they didn't have any other alternatives.
Yeah. Because 9 times out of 10, he probably was the provider, right?
Yeah.
Right.
In so many instances, you know, because remember, women really didn't work back then. They were at home. So the man went out and worked. So if he leave, how you going to take care of home? You know what I mean?
Right. And
so
you got
you couldn't
kids,
really
you have to
leave. Yeah.
consider. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That is definitely back in the day. But I guess, I mean, even, you know what? Maybe even now, you know, when you don't have as much, you got a man, you know, a lot of people start young finding these men, you know what I mean? And he's paying everything, doing everything, controlling everything. You living a good life, you know? Now, my question is the ones that they ain't got no job, ain't got shit. What the hell is you doing still with this motherfucker?
Yeah.
Love.
Come on now. Well, no, it ain't love. We know what it is. It's the D, okay? The D is it takes over. Okay, that's all we're gonna say. It takes over. It takes over. Okay, honey, ain't no love no more. It's all
funny.
about getting your back broke.
Are you on, Didi?
Trying to, they know I'm on, and different ones just steady want to text me. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, I hear you.
Love Tanish, because in the book, Didi mentioned that she loved that guy, and I wanted to know, was it love or lust? Because it was an L word, but it might not necessarily have been love. It was lust, because it was lust. Like, oh, yeah. I love him, whatever, but it was more like lust for him. So even the guy who was married, whatever, and I think you said you loved him, but
that's one thing. I don't mess with no married men. Oh no, I don't do that one. No, give me.
Well, the one who was in the relationship, I don't know if he was whatever he was, but I don't know. And you was like, I'm not sure if it's the same one because you know it runs through my head or whatever. But the one where he was coming to the bus stop, that's okay.
No, so the one thing I will. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The one who was coming to the bus stop, who was bringing you breakfast.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, go ahead.
Don't mess with the phone. Don't mess with it. Leave it there. Don't touch it. Just talk. Just talk.
Okay, that one. Then you're right.
What you said?
You know, you got to take me back. Go ahead.
So he told you he was doing all the right stuff during the time that he was available, that his wife thought he was out to work, whatever he was doing. But he was doing all the right stuff until the time he came to, and not that you knew, how can I say, because he didn't present himself as, he presented himself as a single person, as he was pursuing. But my thing was, he was like, oh, I don't know if the sex was good to you, and he was like, I love him or whatever. And my thing was it love or was it lust? So sometimes lust does feel like love and vice versa. And sometimes we can't distinguish the difference. But when you was like, I don't know if this is the same guy, and you was like, I should have charged him, but do you really think that would have made a difference?
It was, now that I think it back, it was lust. Because sometimes, once again, we want to be with somebody. Oh, my thing is, I love them. No doggone well, you don't love that person. Because first of all, you ain't even known them long enough to say you love them. It be lust. Because it takes a while to really know a person. And then sometimes when we getting all this, you know, he's showering you with this and that, getting you this, different things, just because, oh, baby, I was thinking about you and all that, and they have you all in your feelings, and you think it's love, and no, it's not.
Yeah. And then they also confuse you too, because they'll tell you they love you.
And knowing they don't.
And knowing they don't. Now your man offer.
Yep.
You know, your man all messed up, and
Yeah,
you know,
you
you're
know
all
they like
confused.
these men. They like to they play man games. Is what they play, man games.
And they know, like you talked about the word love, they know to say the word love and bring up the word
Yeah,
love because they know they're gonna
exactly,
get what they want when you
exactly.
talk about you loving them and da 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 da. You know what I mean?
That's why I say I'm learning now. When you go into when you meet somebody, never let them know everything. When you meet a guy, never let them know everything that you went through. All this, I went through this and I'm doing that thing. Oh well, let me tell him. If I let him know I went through all this, he gonna treat me better, man. He gonna use that against. He gonna use it against you. Oh, she went through this, she went through that, and she's still with him. Yep, that reverse psychology.
That same thing for men. When they say you're in a relationship, right? You and your
Mm-hmm.
woman having problems. You go and you talk. The man go talk to another woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my girl do this, my girl do that, my girl do this. We having problems
Mm-hmm.
still. The woman that's listening, now they know all the stuff that the ex-woman did, and they gonna be like, oh baby, I ain't gonna do that to you. Boo. They gonna do everything the opposite of what the other person did because why? You trying to make sure you get that man to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
So what you doing is basically giving them pointers when you telling them what you going through.
Yeah.
So that's what make the other woman feel like she on top because it's like, oh, well, she don't do this, she don't do that. Oh, she's amazing
Mm-hmm.
because she's opposite of you.
Yep.
Are you talking about the other woman, the side woman, or a new relationship? Tanisha.
Honey, the other woman,
So the
the
reason I say
side chick, whatever.
that,
You
the
ain't the
reason I say
main
that is
one.
because I often tell at my job, you know, there's different age. I would say I'm older, but there's younger girls there, and the guys they prey on them. And when I say that to them, when they prey on them, is because they'll be like, "Oh, my wife is doing this and whatever," and I say to them, they've never had that conversation with me because I'm not. How can I say? They can read, they can smell prey. Put it like that. And what I mean by that, and the younger girl that I was telling this to, because the guy walked by and he had locks. And I said, well, he told me that he cut off his locks because his wife wanted him cut. And the only person he's trying to impress is his wife, which is fine with me. And when I told her that, it was like her face fell to the floor. And I said,
Wow.
what's the matter? Because I noticed that she just stopped, whatever. She was like, well, he told me he was having a problem with his wife. I said, he told you that because simply he was trying to get some sympathy, whatever, because he knows whatever you did, because they talk about everything at the job like it's just a big open book. I said, whatever you did with whoever you did, because they know that you're loose, they're going to try to take advantage of you. And I said, he's never said anything like that to me. All he do is talk about his wife and his kids. And I said, he hasn't said that he was having problems with his at home. I said, but here he is telling you that when he hasn't told nobody else that. And I said, don't you think that's odd that everybody come to you and say, I'm having problems at home? And she was like, well, no, they was just don't know. They taking advantage of you. And they just didn't see it. And I just said, I couldn't believe it. And that's why I asked you, are you talking about the side piece, whatever? Because the side piece, I'm gonna just manipulate and tell you anything to get some sympathy pussy or whatever. Sympathy pussy, sympathy penis, because women do the same thing. So I'm not gonna just say that men is doing it. Women are doing the same thing. They have somebody at home that they love and they chasing something that they like. So I told her that. She was like, huh? I said, no, it's the way you present yourself. I said, I'm older now. I said, of course they're not going to say anything disrespectful to me. I said, because I'm older, I'm their boss, but at the same time, they're not going to say anything crazy to me. Now, was I a loose goosey? Of course they're going to say stuff crazy to me because they figure, hey, I'm just doing whatever the party and they can give me a line and I'll fall for it and run with it. But at the same time, that's why I asked if you can clarify that because it was confusing. I didn't know if you was talking about the side piece, the new girlfriend, because my thing is, if you're truly open, I know you don't share with them. To me, there's nothing wrong with sharing. If both of the people are available to share, they should share those things so you can know what hurts me and what's not going to hurt me, so we can know each other, so we can grow from that. Versus hiding things, because I don't like hiding things, because that little small hidden thing becomes a little small white lie, which becomes a big giant thorn in you. I just don't like that. But it's okay to share if it's a good, how can I say, relationship to share. You should be sharing and you should be open. It shouldn't be, I'm hiding this or I'm hiding my feelings from you, because basically that thing that you hid from the person that you're supposed to be in a relationship from is eventually going to seek into somebody else. You need to have an outlet, and that person who you're in a relationship should be your outlet. That's all.
Yeah, well, I think, in my opinion, I feel like they ain't got to know your whole past. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't gonna know their whole past. They ain't gonna tell you every little bitty thing either. You better keep something to yourself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like nowadays,
It's okay.
I know we got though. I know, we all been told that. We should share with our men. But that's the point. That's the problem now. We sharing too damn much with these people. You know what I mean? That they
And they
start
take it,
using
use
that
it
shit
against
against
us.
you.
Yep.
Hell
Yep.
yeah.
So true.
You know,
Yeah.
I dealt with this with my man. I dealt with this, and they end up years later doing the same damn shit that the
Yep.
other one did.
Yeah.
But you said when you came in here that you ain't gonna do this and you ain't gonna do that and you different and you this and woo woo woo. You end up doing the same. Y'all just alike.
Yep.
They just alike. You doing the same exact stuff that you told me you weren't gonna do.
Not today's show.
Cause I know Dee. No, wait a minute, Yolanda. I know Dee. When you got with that baby daddy of yours, you said you didn't even want to be with him.
Child,
But
I
he got
was
you
running from him.
but
Yep.
he got with you, right?
Yep.
And he still ended up hurting you. You know, and I know you
Yep.
was like, I should have
Stood on my ground. Yep.
some told me don't get with you. Some told me
Yep.
that. But 3 years later, well, how many 3 kids later?
Yep.
Then the real side came after you done got what you wanted, which was the kids. And now he know he got you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now he
So
want to
that's
start
two
beating you
different
upside the
things.
head.
That's two different things. Nope, that's two different things. So I can understand not justifying her stand, but I understand her wanting to stay because she came from a household where the parents was loving and nurturing. So I can understand her wanting to stay. Not saying that you should have, but I can understand the reason behind staying, because I want this for my kids. That was what I saw as growing up. This is what I want for my kids. So in that case, even though he was, thank you for leaving him, but it appears that's what she wanted. You know what I'm saying? Because who wouldn't want that? This is what I had. This is what I saw. A loving parent. I want to be in a loving household. Now, who wouldn't want that? So that's, to me, totally different to me. But when you go and tell her, also with the same thing, because once she got into that relationship, I understood why she wanted to stay. But at the same time, her body did tell her that, and sometimes we don't stick to our guns. When we feel danger, we know it's danger, we don't stick to that's dangerous. Let me not do that. You know what I'm saying? But you went ahead and just navigated towards that danger. Like, okay, I'm gonna take it. I know. Get over that fear.
Yeah.
It was the reason your body was telling you. It was like an outer being was telling you to stay away, but you just did it anyway. But I understand.
I mean, I like to think that with age comes wisdom, right? We would think
Yes.
that, maybe not in
Yes.
everything, but like you said, when you know better, you do better.
Do better.
And
Yeah, I like that saying. Yes.
everybody I know always said, if I knew then what I know now. And it ain't got to be about a relationship. It's anything in life. It's like, if I
Yes.
knew then what I know now, probably would have moved differently. So like, when you talk to these young women, that's my man. You be like, baby, okay, keep living, right? Keep living. And with wisdom comes with age. Sometimes you just got to go through it to see, right? Exactly what it is.
And I've learned that, like, when you meet somebody new and they be like, so why you and such and such broke up? Like your past relationship, I just be like, it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
You don't need to know the damn details on what happened. That's just my thing.
Yep.
Because
back to the point. Yeah.
back in the day, you said, oh, well, he did this and he was this and then, so that's what I'm saying. Like, just kind of keep some stuff to yourself. You can't reveal everything when you meet somebody else, because we as women become very vulnerable in the beginning. When we just dating or just talking, we telling every damn thing.
Yeah.
I like flowers. I like candy. I like it when oh baby, I got you. Here goes some flowers. Here goes some candy.
The real you in.
Yes, and it starts with them conversations. It starts with them over phone, all night on the phone, late nights. You telling everything, and he just sitting there listening,
taking it all in. Okay, I
taking notes.
got it. Yep.
and they told you shit about him.
Nope.
Why you and your ex-girlfriend broke up? What happened with you and your baby? You know what I'm saying? They don't say nothing.
Yeah.
So like I say, it's just it's a whole fiasco of stuff. It's just crazy. But I had another question for Dee. Men will have I remember the guy you said you was with who had a baby on you, remember? The
Mm-hmm.
guy okay, so men will have a baby with another woman while being in a relationship with them. And then women, no, they'll have another baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the woman will stay. They'll go outside a relationship, have a baby. The woman will
Mm-hmm.
stay. But if the woman do it
Hmm.
and have a baby by another man, he ain't even thinking about staying. He
Mm-mm.
don't even think twice about the situation. Before you can even finish the sentence, he already gone, baby. He gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm just wondering, why is that? We stay with no problem. We take care of the kids. We found we cool with the baby mama. Now we all a big happy family. We going on trips and shit. We all. I mean, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
They
when you
can't
tell
they
them,
can't take what
but
they dish out.
you better not have another man have a baby
Mm-hmm.
by you. You know what I mean? Like you can't have that. You cannot have a baby
Mm-hmm.
by another man while I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's not even up for discussion.
Yep.
So it's like, why is men like that? They can't take, like you say, what they dish out.
Ain't.
But I'm just wondering, like, if you decided at that time when you was with him and because you end up still staying, remember? You told me you stayed.
Mm-hmm.
But if you did it and got pregnant with another man, what you think he would have did?
Would have left.
And
Soon
would
as the
have
word
never
rolls
even
out my tongue, I wouldn't have thought
yes.
twice about it, but left, wouldn't even look back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I feel like we just, we stay through it all, man.
We
We
do.
just
We do.
stay.
Mm-hmm.
We stay through the
The
man.
lying, the cheating, and it all. Yep.
And they be gone at the blink of an eye of the
So
smallest
true.
shit. They can see another man can call you on your phone. They gone.
Mm-hmm.
A text can come through the phone. They see a text. They gone. It's like you're not trying to. Let's work it out. Let's try to talk this out here. I mean, they're not
Mm-hmm.
even trying to stay. And I just think that's so. You know, that's it's not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah.
You could do all this. I mean, they could do tons of stuff.
Hmm.
And we just, like you said, we allow it.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely allow it. But yeah. So I just want to say we're gonna probably close out because we've asked you enough questions.
Okay.
And did anybody else have anything before we leave and say anything about Dee? Any more questions? No. So yeah, like I said, last month was suicidal awareness month. This month is depression month. And just so if anybody is listening to this and are having suicidal thoughts, the number to text or call is 988. Again, call or text 988 and they will have
Oh, Jesus.
specialists on the phone that can help you, ask you questions, guide you, through the process of any, trying to get you out of the situation and to help you and give you assistance in any type of way. But yes, this was a very important and critical discussion for us to have this month, considering that it is Depression Awareness Month and people are going through so much at this time
Yes.
right
Yes.
now, just a lot. The world is in a whole, has shifted. We're dealing with a lot in this world right now, politically, and just sickness and just so much stuff, death,
Yeah.
losing loved ones. This almost the end of the year. Y'all already know the saying that when we get towards the end of the year, more people are going to leave us.
Yeah.
So this is always a devastating time, close to the end of the year. Also, holidays is coming up. That's also a depressive time for a lot of people that have lost loved ones, have lost kids, family, mothers, fathers, just loved ones in general. So let's try, if you know someone, just reach out to them and just, whatever it takes, just give them a call, a text, and just see how they doing. Just reach out and just try to be a listening ear to that person at that time, or just, show a lot of level of concern, or compassion for them during this time and
Mhm.
season. But again, thank you, Dee Dee, for coming on. We appreciate you taking time
Thank
out your
you.
schedule and you're giving us your book
Welcome.
to talk about. And hope to see you around more. If you want to, be a part of the book club, we would definitely enjoy having you on with
Okay.
us and having you join our club. All right. Other than that, we will see you all at the next book club. All right.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Bye, Queens.
Bye.